I was curled up on my bed, still dressed in my school clothes, headphones in, mindlessly scrolling through my phone. The noise of my playlist drowned out everything around me, including the knock I should have heard. When I looked up, startled, my stepfather, Mark, was standing in the doorway of my room, his face unreadable. "Emma," he said, his voice low, almost serious. I yanked out my earbuds, my heart pounding. "You scared me." He glanced around my room, then back at me. "We need to talk." That sentence alone sent a shiver down my spine. I couldn't tell if it was something I had done or something that had happened, but when Mark said we needed to talk, it was never small talk. And the fact that he came into my room without waiting for a response, that was out of character. I sat up straighter on the bed and motioned toward the chair at my desk. "Sure, what's going on?" He didn't sit. Instead, he walked a few steps in and closed the door behind him gently. That made my stomach drop even more. "Something happened at work today," he said. Something that made me think, maybe I haven't been fair to you. Okay, that was unexpected. Mark had been my stepfather since I was 12. My mom married him 2 years after my real dad died in a car accident. Mark wasn't a bad guy, just distant. We weren't close. We didn't fight, but we weren't exactly friendly either. He'd always been polite, but reserved, like he was just waiting for me to grow up and move out. "Okay," I said slowly, unsure what he was leading to. He rubbed the back of his neck, something he did when he was nervous. "One of the guys at the office, his stepdaughter, ran away last night. He's a wreck. Doesn't know where she went or why she left. Just a note saying she didn't feel like she belonged anymore." I blinked, confused but listening closely. And it got me thinking. He continued, "I don't actually know how you feel about being here, or about me, or about any of this." I stared at him. He looked human in that moment. Not just the guy who paid bills and watched sports. He looked like someone who might actually care. "I mean, do you?" he asked. "Feel like you belong?" It took me a few seconds to find the words. I don't know sometimes. I mean, it's been hard. I miss my dad a lot. And you and Mom, you guys are just in your own world sometimes. He nodded. "Yeah, I figured. But I'm not going to run away or anything," I added quickly. "This is my home, even if it doesn't always feel like it." Mark sat down on the edge of my bed, keeping his distance respectfully. "Emma, I've been so focused on not stepping on your toes that I probably ended up ignoring you instead. I thought it was what you wanted." I bit my lip. Maybe it was at first, but people change. He nodded again. "So how about this? We change things now." I looked at him. "What do you mean?" "We start over. I don't want to be the stranger who lives in the same house as you. You're part of this family, Emma. You always have been. But I need to actually show it." That stunned me. It wasn't what I expected at all, and definitely not how I expected my day to go. "Why now?" I asked. "Because I realized how easy it is to lose someone," he said. "That guy at work, he said he wished he'd talked to his stepdaughter sooner. I don't want to have those regrets." We sat in silence for a moment, the air heavy with emotion. I cleared my throat. "Well, if we're starting over, maybe we could start with something easy, like, I don't know, having dinner together without you two glued to the TV. He smiled. "Deal. And maybe actually asking about my day sometimes, even if it includes 3-hour TikTok breaks and avoiding homework." I laughed. "Especially then." It was awkward, but in a good way. The walls between us weren't knocked down all at once, but I felt a small crack, something I hadn't felt in years. Connection. Over the next few weeks, Mark followed through. He came home from work and actually asked about my classes. He helped me with a science project, even though he clearly had no clue what he was doing. He even started cooking with Mom, instead of zoning out in front of the TV. One Saturday morning, he surprised me with a plan. "We're going hiking," he said, holding up a backpack. "Hiking?" I blinked. "You don't even like nature." "I know, but you used to." Your mom told me you loved hiking with your dad. That made my throat catch. It had been years since I even thought about those hikes. And now here Mark was, trying to reconnect with the version of me I barely remembered. The trail was quiet and long, winding through the hills just outside of town. For most of the hike, we just walked in silence, the sound of birds and wind filling the space between us. But then Mark said something that stuck with me forever. You know, I'll never replace your dad. I wouldn't even try to. But I do hope that someday maybe I can be someone you trust, someone who's really here for you. I didn't say anything for a moment. Then I stopped walking and looked at him. You already are. I just didn't know how to say it. He smiled, really smiled, and we kept walking. Months went by, the seasons changed, and with each one, our bond grew stronger. Then one night, everything shifted again. It was storming outside, thunder rolling through the sky like a war drum. I had fallen asleep on the couch with a book in my lap, only to be shaken awake by Mark. Emma, wake up. Something's wrong. I jolted upright. What? It's your mom. She was in a car accident. She's okay, but she's at the hospital. My heart raced as he helped me grab my coat. We rushed through the rain, barely speaking, both terrified and trying not to show it. At the hospital, we found Mom with a sprained wrist and a few bruises, but otherwise safe. Still, the sight of her on that bed made everything inside me twist. Mark held her hand and looked more shaken than I'd ever seen him. When we got home later that night, soaked and exhausted, I sat on the couch, shivering under a blanket. Mark came in with 2 mugs of cocoa and handed me one. I took it without a word. She'll be okay, he said, trying to reassure both of us. I know, I whispered, but I don't want to lose her. You won't, he said, and you won't lose me either. That night, we stayed up talking, really talking, about fears, about the future, about everything we never said before. It's strange how something as simple as someone walking into your room can change everything. Mark walking into my room that day wasn't just a conversation starter. It was the beginning of a transformation for both of us. Now, a year later, he's not just my stepfather. He's someone I call my family, someone I trust, someone who walked into my life and surprisingly stayed. And I'm grateful every day that he opened that door.